Guys, so I am finally watching FBoy Island. And, well, first things first. Since when is Kaitie a comedian? When in the fuck's name did that happen? And, your relationship was short-lived? You don't fucking say. You did miss the part, though, where you actually dated another one of your men, and then that didn't work out. But anyway, so then we find out from Nikki, Queen Nikki, that the men, once we've met the men, who, yes, the women actually say, looks like an F-boy, like all of them look like F-boys. Anyway, that they're going to be doing first impressions, and whichever men get 3 flags from all of the women is going to have extra time with them. But there is a catch, and that catch is that night, kind of like it's like a cocktail party type of idea, 3 of the men are going to be going home. Whoa. And Nikki's like, did I tell you guys? Speaking of the women, she's like, well, I'm telling you now. But my goodness, we're moving quite quickly with this already. 3 men. And Marquise. He's an F-boy. 100% this man is an F-boy. Because, sir, what connection? This man say how he has a connection with the women, and as most of the men said, what connection? You just got here, and you're probably not gonna last. But, yeah. As soon as I saw him, I clocked. He's most likely an F-boy. So another thing, and I'm actually, full disclosure, watching the show and recording as I go, but, okay, there's one guy on the show, his name is Vince, and he is, I believe he's Korean, and he's a lawyer, and I saw him, the first second I saw him, I said, I've seen you before. Now, I don't know where I've seen you before, but I've seen you before. And I thought, is it this show? Because we've seen people come back before. And I'm like, no, it's not this show. And then he started talking to Kaitie, as we saw during the mixer. And he is like, yeah, the dating show before. It didn't work out, though. And, he said he got engaged from that, and it didn't work out, which, before I go into how I remember him, and maybe how others remember him, I thought it was very sad because I really liked the person he ended up with on a previous dating show, which was the one that got away that was on Prime Video. I watched that whole thing from beginning to end. And I'm like, okay, so Kaitie is not the only person who's doing this shit again. I cannot believe this guy is actually on this show. And I actually really, really like him. I hope I continue to like him. But I feel like that's just a fucking giveaway, because either he is not looking for another relationship after his engagement, and he's using that to kind of be like, well, I was getting engaged, so of course I'm a good guy. And, either that, he's just using it, and he has absolutely no intentions of being in another relationship again, or he is, he's a good guy and we already know this. And it's like, okay, then why is he on this show? Because now I know you're not a F-boy, you're a nice guy. So this will be interesting to see how this goes. But I don't even know which way it's gonna go. I have to see a little more of him. It's been a little bit. I think I watched that show about a year ago. But for those who haven't seen the one that got away on Prime Video, I think it's only the one season, I would definitely go back and watch it. It's very good. And you can kind of just see Vince's journey through that show, how that turned out, and then hop into this and kind of come with it in a way that I'm now thinking, my goodness, was not expecting that at all. Okay, so then we have this argument between Jared and Marco. Now, Marco is mad. He's big mad because while he was getting a drink so he can drink or take a shot with Kaitie, Jared comes in and snatches Kaitie away to have a conversation with her. Now, Marco's big mad because he had just been talking to Daniella and, connecting with her. They both be God. Sorry. My brother used to call it Portuguese or Portuguese or whatever. Anyway, they're, connecting on the fact that they both speak Portuguese and, he gets all that and he's like, oh, he was just talking to, Daniela for like 15 minutes. So then why is he going to go talk to Kaitie? Because this is a game, sir. Because this is a reality TV show with 3 different women and they're all going to connect with each other. What did you think was going to happen? Is this a competition? So then he pulls Jared aside and confronts him on it. And Jared's like, I took an opportunity. You were, you're not going to get to know them if you don't talk to them. So while you're waiting for your drink, I'm going to talk to them, and I get it. You're going to play dirty. This is a competition at the end of the day. And there is money at the end of this, right? The end of the day. And maybe love, maybe that's what you're here for. And, yeah, so what do you think is going to happen? It's just the fact that he actually has to have an argument with him about this on the first fucking night. It's night one. Lord of mercy. And then we have this Fabio looking guy, with his luscious locks who's just filling up the energies in the room before he goes and he talks to somebody. You're one of the 3 that's being chopped. Oh, Lord of mercy. His strategy is to go in with this as silently, and things will come to him, and wise men stay silent or some shit. And he's a hot yoga instructor, and I'd be surprised if one day this guy becomes a cult leader. Anyways, and then my girl Hali, might be Haley, and I'm saying this all along, but anyways, Hali, she's talking to Evander. Evander's gorgeous, but he's a fucking F-boy. He's gorgeous, and I immediately thought, you're too damn gorgeous to not be an F-boy. And then she asks him, what's your sign? And I said, my God, if it's Scorpio. And he decides, oh, let me show you. This man tatted Scorpio on his chest. And listen, I am a woman who is in love and plans to have babies and plans to marry a Scorpio. Okay? So there's no ill will against Scorpios because I'm in love with one. However, I went through hell and back with that Scorpio to make him a reformed nice guy. So, I don't know how old this guy is. I'm sure I would be able to look back in when I announced the men in a previous episode. But if he's under the age of 30 and he is a Scorpio, girl, run. He is an F-boy. My God. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. My goodness. So then Danielle ends up kissing CJ and says that he embodies all of her exes. So she's immediately drawn to him. Ma'am, if a man embodies your exes and for some fucking reason you're drawn to them, your picker's all the way fucking off. They're your exes for a reason. Doesn't mean that you then find a man who embodies all of them fuckers. You know what I mean? I feel so far she's gonna remind me of our original girl, blonde girl from the first season who obviously I'm not gonna remember at this point, but picked an F-boy at the end and he got fucked over too. And then he came back to the second season. Yeah, for like a minute. Anyway, so yeah, maybe you shouldn't be kissing the guy who embodies your exes. All of them. And then we see hot yoga co-leader and this guy Sean talking, and he's kind of like, should I go talk to them? Should I not go talk to them? Should I stay here and be a wise man and observe or some nonsense? And then he literally says to hot yoga cult leader, I'm not even attracted to these women, sir. I don't like talking about people and how they look by any means, but when you look like you don't have a freaking leg to stand on, fuck, even a finger to balance yourself on, you shouldn't be talking about these women. They're gorgeous. I don't know about you. And yeah, so then this other guy whose name I can't remember, but he kind of looks like Chris Isaacs. He's Chris Isaac. I don't know, don't care. He is going to rat him out to Hali and tell the truth because I want to be seen like a trustworthy guy. This show works on this show. For those who've watched the show, it works on the show. It never works on Bachelorette or BIP or any of those things. But it always works on this show. Rat the fuck out of this guy, and he's gonna be one of the three. It's gonna be hot yoga co-leader Sean, and I don't know who else yet, but we'll figure that out as time goes on. So now we're at the point where we're gonna be doing elimination. So for those who don't watch the show, for those who maybe haven't watched it yet and do, we're just gonna do a quick little crash course on how the elimination works. So we have 3 women. Each of them get to pick at least 2 men that they want to put into their 2. So from there, we will figure out who is going to be getting eliminated. So probably one of each. Each woman will to eliminate one guy. So first is first. Danielle picks Stephen and Ian, 2 men I barely knew existed. And then for Hali, her bottom two is Sean, the one who said he isn't even attracted to anybody. And her second is Evander, our Scorpio. And then for Kaitie, her two bottom is Dio, who I think is from DR. He does have an accent. He was fairly noticeable in the beginning, but he kind of didn't seem to have a lot of time with any of the women. And then her second is Chris, who again didn't really make a great impression. I think this is the guy who humped the floor in his first impression challenge thing. And you will also notice has a bald spot on top of his head, but hey, you can't control that. Anyways, that's our bottom 6. So when we get up there and we start, getting ready for what the men do is plead their case. Dio is smiling, and Nikki, with a straight face, just says, "Why are you smiling?" And he says he smiles all the time. When he's mad, when he's sad, when he's this, he smiles. Anyway, so Ian, the reason that he is in the bottom, which I think is very legitimate, is that he is too young. Any man who is 25 years old is not ready for commitment. They are an FBoy. I don't disagree with that by any means. Then all of a sudden, Stephen, who Ian calls Johnny Bravo, Chef's Kiss, says he's lying to you. He's not 25. He's 22. Fuck. And here we all thought that Milton was too young. That again, that's marriages isn't. I don't know. Looking at him, I could definitely see him being 22. But what's really the difference between 22 and 25 when it comes to look? So anyways. And then she tells Stephen the reason she's has him here on the bottom is because he reminds her of all of her past relationships, and she's really trying to change that for herself. The fuck you say, ma'am? Because you literally told what's his face earlier, where the fuck that guy's name was, I can't remember now, that he embodied all of your exes. So that's why you're drawn to him. So which fucking way does it go? I'm really fucking confused. Nonetheless, if you could just say that you're not attracted to him and the fact that he didn't talk to anybody, I might believe that. But I definitely don't believe what you just said. It's so weird. And basically, Hali just kind of states the obvious for the reasons she's letting her men go of Anders because it's too good to be true. So he's probably an F-boy. And then for Sean, it's because, well, I heard some shit and you're full of shit. And he says, well, I don't really know anybody here, so I'm not sure who could be talking. And then all the men are like, well, someone told on him he'd have a rat. So we know that that's going to come back later on, and we're going to find out who's really talked shit to her about Sean. So, and again, for Kaitie, kind of the same thing, pretty obvious stuff of, the one guy whose name, again, I can't remember, he had red flags from earlier, was hoping that stuff would change her mind, with the conversation that they had, but he really didn't. And then Dio, just because, well, he really truly just didn't talk to anybody, didn't get to know anybody, so for that, it just feels like you're here for the wrong reasons. That's fair. That's definitely fair. And of course, he's just smiling on through it. He's so happy. But when, we find out if he is an F-boy or not, will determine how I feel about him smilingly into her gently. So Daniella gets rid of Ian because she really does think he is 22. And obviously Hali gets rid of Sean because, let's be real, he really doesn't give a shit because he's not attracted to any of the women anyway, so who cares? And then for Kaitie, she eliminates Dio, and he is just smiling and giggling the whole thing. And she says, you know what? I don't even need to say anything. You're good. You're going to be just fine. And now it's time to find out who of these three are an F-boy and who's a nice guy. If we have any nice guys, hopefully we have all F-boys. We'll see. So, first, Ian says, well, I am an F-boy. And he decides while he's at it that he's going to, I guess, be a contender on MILF Manor because he wants to have sweet, sweet love with Stephen's mother. Great. And he says that I am newly 22. No. And as for the other two, Sean, no shit again, is an F-boy. That was pretty obvious. And Dio, we're just kind of waiting to see whether or not he's an F-boy or a nice guy. And everyone, including the audience, including the people there, are leaning in, waiting to find out what he has to say. And he is a nice guy. Shit. Kaitie, you already suck at this game. But yeah, he's a nice guy. And usually how we end this off at the end of these, Nikki always says to the nice guy, or nice guys, depending, nice guy, nice try. And for the F-boys, it is F-boy, F-bye. So I think that's how we'll end this one off. We'll be doing mini episodes for each episode. I know I'm behind here, but I'm slowly catching up, trying to get back to everything. So yeah, that is it. That's the end of the first episode of F-Boy Island. Again, we keep these very short. You can find us on all of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate and review us on either Apple Podcast or Spotify. And again, those rates, those reviews, it helps with our growth, and that's something we really want to be able to do. And again, if you want to connect with us, you can do so on either Facebook at Reality T ×2 or Instagram and Threads at Reality T ×2 podcast. You can also connect with us on Discord. That information will be in the show notes. And you can also email us at realityt ×2@hotmail.com. And that's it. So we're going to be done for this episode. So F-boy, bye.